Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Advanced Minecraft. I know we're all very anxious to get to the Nether and explore that and the best ways you can make use of it, but I've got something important to talk to you about first. If you're going to go to the Nether, you're going to want as much of your inventory space as possible for collecting the fun stuff there, but you're also going to want food. And the best way to take food into the Nether is to maximize the amount of health you'll gain per box in your inventory. Now, all food has the same problem, which is that it only takes up one spot. You can't stack any of them. So what you would want to do is take the food that's going to help you the most. And here is a graphical representation from the wiki of the different types of food that exist and how much they heal you for. Now, to my knowledge, there's only one way to get apples, and that is if you are Notch and you die. He drops an apple, apparently. But since Alpha, they've been sort of removed. I haven't found one in a dungeon ever, although that's where you used to be able to get them. So let's focus on the other ones. Mushroom stew is the best. 5 hearts for 1 bowl. That means 2 bowls can fill you up from dead, which you'll never be at. So really, a grilled pork and a mushroom stew should be able to fill you up from your most endangered position in the Nether. But mushroom stew is extremely hard to come by because mushrooms are hard to come by. Except in the Nether, they're pretty plentiful there. You may get lucky and find some red ones and brown ones in your journeys in the magma area level. But in fact, I think I showed in my first video I found a few on the overworld, but it's extremely rare, so don't count on mushroom stew. Best bang for your buck is grilled pork, which means that you're going to have to go out and hunt pigs and then cook the pork, and that'll keep you mostly. But if you are playing in such a way that going to the surface to hunt pigs is not a viable option, then you might want to do something else. And it's not fishing, but I wanted to show you guys how fishing works in case you haven't done it already. Pretty simple. It bounces and a fish appears, jumps over your head, you go, you pick it up. Now, fun tip about the fishing rod though, it has about 33 uses before it breaks. But you can hook things other than just fish and pull them to you. This can be used on mobs, it can be used on enemies, it can be used on carts, boats, although boats will often break when it happens. But you can hook more than just fish. So it's a fun tool to have, and it might save your life one day, so you should probably toss one in your pack. What I'm going to show you guys though is if you are unable to, and I'm just going to eat one of my steaks. If you're unable to go up to the surface to hunt pigs often, you might consider building an underground farm. And it's pretty simple to do. What you're going to need is you're going to need an empty bucket, and you're going to need to run outside or somewhere underground that you found water and just take one. Most of you probably know that water has an ability to regenerate itself completely, a well of water. If it's in a specific position that is surrounded by at least 2 other wells, it'll automatically fill itself in. So you can create a 2x2 square of water that will never run out of water if you take some. But you're only going to need 1 bucket for this, unless you want to do something really large. And what you're going to do is you're going to build an underground farm. It's fairly simple to do. You just need a bucket of water and some dirt and some torches, because the growth rate of the wheat is based on how much light it receives, and the farms require that they be within a certain distance of water. So you're also going to need a hoe and some seeds from the surface if you haven't already gotten them, but I'm assuming most of you have at least at one point experimented with that, getting grass seeds from the grass and bringing them down here. I actually might not have any. Actually, yeah, I don't have any right now because I planted my outside farm instead of my inside farm. So I'll just show you how to set it up, and then I won't actually finish. We're going to do a small one because you guys should be able to understand the concept just by seeing it demonstrated in a small form. Tap, 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 tap. Alright. Yeah, I have gone to the Nether. It's pretty awesome. There are a few bugs with it still. Notch just fixed one of them, or I haven't tested to see if it's fixed, but he said he's attempted to fix the bug where if you place one gate on the overworld, or really this world, go through it and you appear in one in the Nether. But what happens is the gate slides to the most reasonable safe position, and since we know the Nether is 1/16th scale, every one space you move in the Nether is 16 on the overworld, when it moves to relocate itself, it actually can severely change the position of the gate corresponding, and when you come back it builds a new gate, sometimes a long way away from where your original gate was placed. There you go. What you've got here is you put a single block of water in the middle, you make a little cross pattern, although you don't even have to do that for a really small one. A farm of this size, oops, a single one in the middle will sufficiently water any surrounding tiles up to 4 squares away, I believe. And then just light it up. Nice and bright. In fact, if you can tunnel a hole right up to the surface and put glass blocks in, daylight is brighter. So it will actually make a difference, and your crops will grow better if you have a glass ceiling to daylight, and also torches to help them keep lit at night. You'll notice that over time the different squares of farmland will become soggy. If you plant a plant on one, I've noticed that it seems to trigger the effect faster sometimes, but there you have it. You've got your farm, and if you want you can even build a walkway around it. Now I'm going to accidentally knock over my torches there. You can put them up 3 if you prefer not to do that. That way you don't trample any of the farmland, because after walking over it enough it will turn back into dirt. And you'll have to rehoe it, and it'll kill any crops that are on it too. So you want to keep off your farmland while you're doing this technique. But you'll grow wheat while you're busy doing other things that are fun. You don't have to watch your crops grow. And then you can harvest it and turn it into bread. And from the diagram here, bread is actually the third most effective, tied with cooked fish. But you need coal for cooked fish. You just need time with bread. And 3 wheat becomes 1 bread, which should be pretty basic. You guys know that already. There you have it. Best way to stock up on food before going into the depths. Hello, skeleton. You will not shoot me. Next video I plan to do, hopefully a little bit sooner than the wait time between this one and the previous one, I will go into the Nether and show you guys some tricks on dealing with the inhabitants there, and some of the fun stuff that you can get out of it, because it's all about survival. Before I go, I have checked a few different things. I've heard that you can grow trees in the Nether if you bring soil and then plant a tree, it will grow. But someone told me immediately bursts into flames when it does grow. I haven't checked yet, I haven't tested it, but I'm assuming that it probably does burst into flames. You can't bring buckets of water, so if you fall in the magma, good luck. You're going to need to eat as fast as possible to stay alive. And you probably still will burn to death. That has happened to me. And ghasts are pretty weak. They only die after, I think, 3 arrow shots. So as long as you can avoid their projectiles, then you will be okay. Best way to get rid of a gas projectile is to shoot it with an arrow. Although you can also hit it with a sword and bounce it back like a racquetball. I had little success with that. The arrow method is much more effective. Don't try to hit them with their own projectile. It's nearly impossible because they're constantly moving and the projectile goes off at a direction that's hard to control. Your best bet is to lead them into a falling lava, or shoot them from a distance. I probably shouldn't be talking about it because it's much more fun to show you while I'm discussing it instead of standing around doing nothing in my base. So with that, I will bid you all adieu, and I will see you hopefully within a week for a trip to the Nether. This has been Dr. Zombie with another episode of Advanced Minecraft.